Hi everyone, welcome back to Now Divas. My name is Selva Arun. First off, a huge thank you to all our subscribers and everyone who has been supporting the channel. Your encouragement means a lot and keeps us going. So, if you have missed any of the previous parts in the ServiceNow Discovery series, check out the playlist linked in the description below for a quick recap. In our last video, we installed the MID server on a Windows 2022 data center server. Today, in part 5, we are going to take it a step further. We will be discovering the Windows MID server by setting up the necessary credentials and then running a live scan, followed by a quick demo. So, without further ado, let's get started. And as always, if you find this video helpful, please share and subscribe to the channel. Let's begin by talking about the discovery credentials and access requirements for Windows servers. To successfully discover Windows Server using a ServiceNow Discovery, here is what you need. Account type: you will need a domain user account with a local administrator access on the target Windows host, or a local account with the administrator privileges and UAC disabled. Permissions needed: the account must have WMI access, remote registry access, PowerShell remoting enabled, and the logon as a batch job local security policy assigned. No interactive logon is required. This means the account does not need to log in directly to the server. For a multi-domain environment, make sure you use the correct domain and user formats like domain / and / username or username at exampledomain.com. For workgroup computers, use either the built-in administrator account or a domain user account that exists on the workgroup computer. Now let's jump into ServiceNow and set up these credentials, and I will walk you through the process step by step, and then we will run the live scan to see the discovery in action. If you have any questions as we go along, drop them in the comments below, and do not forget to share and subscribe for more ServiceNow content. Thank you. And let's get started with the demo. So this is the knowledge article which I have created for today's demo. And while I was initially testing the credentials on my PDI, I ran into a couple of errors. The first one being no credential found for a type Windows, and no WMI connection found, and the discovery scan was unsuccessful. So upon testing the credential from the credential table, I got a message like a JSON object text must begin with a character. So I followed a knowledge article which was available on the ServiceNow to fix this issue. So I will be sharing that articles as well. And in case if you ran into these kind of issues, then you can go through that articles, and we will take a closer look at the article, what it says. So let's get started with our credential setup. So as I mentioned earlier, we need to create a account which has got a local administrative access. So in order to do that, I have already created one, as you might have already guessed it. So let's go ahead and check that one I had created. So let's go to this user and groups accounts. So I have created a user called SVC Discovery. So I am going to do one thing. I am going to create a one more account similar to this, because I just want to show you guys how this actually looks like. I'm going to give this as Discovery 1, and I'm going to give a password. Please make sure that you give a strong password. So I am just going to uncheck few options here. User cannot change password. Ideally, this is not required. So, but for my YouTube channel and for my learning purposes, I am just checking these options in real time. We leave that option as it is. So the account is now created. As you can see, there is one more SVC Discovery 1. But if you could see that it is not part of any administrative group, so which I will be adding it right now. And if you could see, there is nothing. It's just a part of a users. And let me go ahead and I'm sorry, let me just cancel this out. Let me do it the other way around. Let me come to the groups and you can see administrators and you can see only 3 users are there. So here I am going to give the one we had created. There was a typo, silly me. We go. So, or I have added that particular user to the administrative groups. So next we need to grant access to the WMI, the registry access and the PowerShell remoting, and also log on as a batch job. So let me just go here and open the policies. I don't know, my VM is pretty slow today. Then let's come to the local policies and user right, and the one is log on as a batch. Log on as a batch job, and you can see that the one which I had previously created before, not today, that is already part of that group. Now I am going to Discovery 1. And you can see the domain here shows as Windows slash SVC Discovery 1. So we will be using that as a username on our credential table. So please make a note of it. And I am just going to click on OK and then apply. And then we are going to give the WMI access to. So for that, let's go back to this particular console one. And now please come to the services and the application, and then you can see the WMI control. Just right click on it and click on the properties, and it is now trying to connect. And then go to the security and then the roots, then click on security, and we are going to add the group here. So what was that name? SVC Discovery 1. This is the one, and I am going to execute this method, and then enable account is already checked in, and then remote enable, and then apply, and then click on, and let's go ahead and click on. Now let's give access to the remote registry too. So for that again, and I'm just going to open the remote registry, regedit.exe. I think it's incorrect, sorry. Rigid. Then right click on the, and then click on the permissions, and I am just going to add. So I am going to give the read permissions, and I'm going to click on apply, and then, and also I am just going to give to this path as well. So SVC underscore. So this is done, and I am going to open the PowerShell. I think it's PowerShell as an administrator. So we are going to enable -ps, I think so, remoting -force. I think this should be already enabled. Let me just check. So I'll just come to my documentation here. This is the documentation which I have created, and I will be leaving everything in the description box below, and these are the articles which I was talking about and whatever the steps I did. to fix those issues, I will share those information as well. So set permission in the Windows name. I am just going to copy this. I don't think so the copy paste will actually work. I'll have to. Ideally, I did not do all these things when I tested it out initially. So let's try to ignore this one for now. And in case if we find any issues, then we know what to do, how to give the permission for that particular account for running the PowerShell. So I think we are done with the credential setup, and here are a few important notes. So SVC underscore discovery, one is a domain account, then perform these steps on each target machine. And if it is a local admin, you may need to disable UAC for full privileges, and always test the connection after making changes. Great, and let me just go to the Windows R and the services. Let me just check if our ServiceNow mid-server services are running. If not, then let's go ahead and start it. Go to, and you can see that it is running, so no issues. So let's go ahead and check the same on our instance, whether it is running or not. Let's go to permit servers. It is up and running, and it is also validated, which is good. Let's go ahead. Here I need the IP address, so I'm going to open the record here, and also you can see that I have 5 unresolved issues. So this was the issue which I was talking about, that it was unable to load the key store, and the mid server was not functioning properly after restarting the mid server. So that's when I had to go through the ServiceNow documentation and also the knowledge articles, and I had to perform a few steps in order to fix this. So I can just show you guys what I did. So I had to delete the key store file from this particular folder, that is agent, and as under the security there was a key store file, and then I deleted it after taking the backup, and also I removed the key pair value by going into this config.xml, and this is the parameter name, and also I had to set the password in a clear text. So after that, I started the mid-server services, and I clicked on the validate, and that actually worked. So, and also there was something else which was related to the first one, the credentials one, the one I spoke during our demo, which was this one, the JSON object. I think I did the similar things, and the KB article is mentioned here, and I will be leaving it in the description box as well. If you come across that message, then you will have to go ahead and troubleshoot that issue, or just simply follow that knowledge article. So let's come back to our instance again, and let's go ahead, go to the credential table, credential discovery credentials table, and as you can see, I've already created one here. So I am going to create one more, and the type of credential is Windows credentials, and I am just going to give this duplicate. This is for my reference, because this is actually a duplicate credential, and the username would be, if you remember, I had shown in the server that the name actually starts with the Windows. Where was it? Groups and administrators, and it's not showing up here, but you can see the domain as Windows. So I think this is the forward slash, I believe, SVC underscore discovery 1, and I'm going to type the password, and I'm going to save the record here. Just one thing, I just wanted to check one thing. Let me go to this credentials, and I would like to see something. just wanted to check this username again. So I have just corrected the username with the correct slash. So this is done. Let's go ahead and quickly test the credentials. And that's the IP address for the mid server, the one we will be scanning it. Great, so the credential has been validated. So let's go to who the discovery is scheduled. And let's run a quick discovery, and this is the IP address of this particular server. So let's go ahead and run the quick discovery, and let's scroll down. So you can see each phases here in the ECCQ. This is the Shazam phase, the first phase where the port scanning happens. And this has been classified as a Windows because the WMI port responded to the first phase, which is the port identification, and then the mid server has assumed that this is a Windows machine, and it has sent WMI classification probes, and here the credentials will be used, and then based on certain conditions it will go ahead and classify the device, whether it is 2019 server or 2012 server or 2022 server. So in order to see this information at the backend, you need to enable property under the sys underscore properties table. I think it is called classify, debug classify. Then you set it to true, and also from the mid server you can create a new configuration parameter as a mid debug, and then set that as a true. And let's go ahead and click on refresh, and you can see that the identification phase has started, which is where the pattern has been launched, which is the Windows OS pattern. And let's come here, you can see that discovery started and classified, now identifying. And also under the devices you can see the current activity, which is called identifying what is a completed, that it has been classified and everything. So the probe whichever used was the Windows classify probe. Since our mid server is actually a 2022 server, there is a probe, or I'm sorry, the pattern which attached to it. Unfortunately, I had to attach a pattern to that Windows classification. Make sure that your discovery patterns and also your and service mapping patterns plugins are up to date. So that makes a lot of difference. If that is not up to date, you get a lot of errors, and also now and then ServiceNow pushes the updates which contains the features, and just like a mobile phone, how our apps gets updated a similar way. So just make sure that your plugins related to discovery are up to date. So the one I wanted to show you guys was the classification, the CI classification. So if I scroll down here and just go to the Windows one, so this is the one 2022 server. When I was just initially testing it out, the discovery status was actually stuck at the identifying phase, and it was completed. And I was just wondering what's wrong. That's when I had to come here to this classification table, and I saw that under the trigger probes it was empty. So that's where I had to add the pattern here. And here, since this is my PDI, I do not have any exploration probes set, but you can see for the 2019 server there are a lot of probes for which are related to the exploration phase. Unfortunately, I'm unable to add these to the 2022 server, but I do have a Windows 2019 server just installed on my virtual box, and which I will be scanning it, and I will upload that video as well. So let's go to our discovery status and see if the scan is successful. So it still says like it is active. Let's give a few more minutes, and let's come back once it is completed. All right. I don't know, for some reason it wasn't working. I'm sorry, there was a delay, so I could see that it is completed right now. Let's quickly refresh the screen and let's see the devices, and you can see that it has been updated, that it says the completed activity is updated CI, which means that our scan was successful, and this is the CMDBC, and let's go to that record. So you can see that it's a Windows 2022 data center evaluation, and it has given us all the information. It contains all the related items as well. So that's it. And that's it for today's demo on discovering your Windows Mid server in ServiceNow. I hope this walkthrough made the process clear and easy to follow. If you have found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your network. And do not forget to subscribe to Now Divas for more ServiceNow tips and tutorials. Got questions or you want to see something specific in the future video? Drop your thoughts in the comment section, and I love hearing from you. Stay tuned for the part 6 where I will show you how to set up a credential for discovering Linux servers in ServiceNow. You won't want to miss it. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.